Please, which one is preferable? For couple to stay in separate rooms or to be together in one room? Because I don't know which one is trending now. I have my reasons for asking this question because you don't they do me like say this man they run from me. Quite all right. There are many reasons couples who want to stay together and others who want to stay alone. There are people that don't like encroachment. They are used to being by themselves, doing their thing. They love privacy a lot, sometimes because of work and stuff like that. So even when they get married, they find it difficult to have someone else in their space. It takes a lot of grace to be able to, cohabit with someone. Because I could remember back then in Lagos, I had this friend, very established man. His job is that type that is very demanding and all that. So we were all asking him, Sha, how are you going to cope with this your lifestyle if you get married? And he would be like, uh-uh, marriage is just one phase in life. It's just one part of you that if he gets married, his wife will not interfere with his job. But he would even be in his room. His wife would be in his room. He was just saying it that time. We were laughing at him and saying, you never see anything until you get married. So I married before him. And when he finally married, I was asking him, I remembered the question and I asked him, so right now, do you stay in the same room with your wife? And he said, for where, how can, you know? So there are people like that. Even you will be shocked if you learn that such a person stays in the same room with the wife. However, for new couples, major percent of them would want to be together in the same room with their wives, right? Because they want to build companionship, friendship. They want to get to know their spouse better. You understand? They want to achieve pregnancy and stuff like that. So more percentage would stay together. However, as the marriage progresses, move from one phase to another, several things drift spouse away. Some become enemies, to themselves. There are other reasons like pregnancy, like the one that I'm passing through now. Because I one bed, no, they contain me, trying to turn and toss and looking for the best position. And the man will just say, I beg, I did the other room so that you will have enough space to sleep comfortably. This one day. Sometimes the wife man will be pretending like he wants the man around, but he actually doesn't want anybody close by. If your husband snores, that's even the worst. So you will just be using your mouth to say, no, now I honey stay. But with your heart, you're saying, I beg, go the other room, make I sleep well. There is another reason, like if you have a baby or you probably got twins, there is no how being in the same room with your spouse will be very conducive and comfortable. Okay, except for a particular kind of house that has all the spaces and all that. In fact, you can even have babies' nannies inside the room because the room is just as big as the living room. There are different kinds of settings, but I'm saying for a standard measure, normal circumstance, most times a man may choose to stay in the other room and allow the woman to do her thing with the new babies, especially in twins or triplets situations. And when the children are crying and demanding for breast milk, for this, for that, changing diaper, and then the mother-in-law that came for Mugo will be coming in and going out to help. In such a situation, the man will willingly just move to the other room. There is also illness situation, especially towards the advanced stage of the marriage. After you people must have made children, they have all grown, and all that. There is this probability that one of you may get really sick, with a serious illness that would require more of an assistant than a companion. Imagine when your husband or your wife has something like dementia, cancer, Alzheimer, tuberculosis. In this kind of situation, this person does not really need a disturbance. Sometimes it may even be a situation of an infectious disease, and the person is not really sleeping properly. So it's normal, it's understandable if that person is allowed to be in a room by himself or by herself. However, minus these exceptions that I gave now. I'm talking under normal circumstances. Would you prefer for you and your spouse to stay in different rooms? One of you has something to hide, or because of work. There is a kind of job you will be into, especially tech jobs, where seriously you work both at home and in the office. You have computers, you always, stuff like that. Even your wife or your husband will find you boring. A very understanding one would see it as not wanting to disturb you. Ehen. Under that circumstance, you may be permitted to be on your own, especially if you are into cybersecurity kind of thing that involves confidentiality and stuff like that. But remember that everything that has advantage has a disadvantage. You can't eat your cake and have it. Staying in separate rooms has a way of drifting partners, apart. It has a way of creating a gap, a space between the two of you. Most times, you may even go to bed with grudges and your spouse is not even noticing it. It even affects your sex life because sometimes when you think of leaving your room to the other person's room and stuff like, you just sleep off. And it also makes it difficult for you to care for one another because ndị be anyị si na onye nọ ntị nso na anụ isi eze ọkwa ya maazị moto si afụ na gbaa. So ọ bụrụ na gị na your spouse, if you and your spouse are in the same room, you will notice when the underwear is dirty, you will notice when a few things need attention. But if you guys are career partners and your goal is chasing money, making money, there will be no closeness. You may be making the money, but then what examples will you be leaving for your children? I don't know what you people think. When I was growing up, my parents had different rooms. My mom had her room, my dad had his room. Just that the way our house was, their own room, they one side of the house. So once you enter their side from daddy's room to mommy's room, they have their connection, they have their toilets, they have their stuff. But in modern time, most couple stay in the same room and then have the children's sector, domestic stuff sector, and the other part of the house. What's your opinion on this? Would you rather choose to be in the same room with your wife under normal circumstances? So I don't want to come and start hearing if your wife is a bad wife, if she's dirty. We are talking about you. I beg. I'm saying under normal circumstances, don't always narrow everything down to the fault of the woman. Consider also your own faults. Just be open-minded. We are here not to portion blames or to speak against men or against women. So, I don't mark and a share button, I beg.